Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage.
What's up, Kat?
Jen Burns, baby.
We are changing things up today, sitting on the opposite sides of the table.
Exactly. I'm trying to see if I can see things from your side of the table. Yep.
Different seat on the bus.
Exactly. A different seat on the bus. What was it? I was listening to Iana Van Sant. You know, I don't know if you ever heard of the program Iana Fix My Life or something like that.
No.
And she said we can be sitting on the same side of the table and still see things differently.
100% agree.
So I'm just trying to take a seat where you sit. How goes it?
Good. Have big story to tell.
Tell me.
So I don't know if people listen to our podcast in order. If you have, you've probably heard me talk about Kim Mulkey at LSU.
That's her best friend in her head, by the way.
In women's basketball, and how I talked about how I almost met her at that house and then didn't meet her and then went to an event at LSU and met her. And I think this episode can just be about manifesting things in your life, right? Okay. I played basketball a little bit in high school, but never really was a huge basketball fan, but I'm a huge Kim Mulkey fan. Yeah. So we decided to get season tickets to the LSU women's basketball season this year, which ended up being just this amazing season. Mm-hmm. And so we got them because of her, but then we kind of fell in love with the team and getting to know the players and following them and rooting for them. And so a couple months ago, one of the players on a Saturday reached out to me. She reached out via Airbnb because we have an Airbnb by campus, and her name's Awa. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Hey, this is Awa. I'm a women's basketball player." And I was thinking, I know.
Hey, Awa, if you're listening.
I know. And she was like, "I'm trying to rent the Airbnb for my family. They're coming in from France and for senior night." And so I can't remember if I've talked about this before in this podcast, but
I think you mentioned, I do remember you mentioning that she was coming in and you managed to get her. Yeah. And that's when you did the pitch for LSU.
I did the NIL deal with her. And so we've she's just so friendly. Yeah. She's just really, and super impressive young lady. Her parents raised her right. Just great girl. And so we've become friends, kind of. I don't know. I don't talk to her a lot, but anyway,
she knows who you are.
She my daughter would say that. I'm famous. She knows who I am. But anyway, so she and I, would just keep in contact through the season, text them on wins and stuff like that. And so one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to invite the basketball team over for dinner one night. And my husband was like, that's creepy.
I mean...
And I was like, it's not creepy. Because I just remember being an athlete and living in a dorm, living in an apartment. And I remember the few times that we were invited to people's houses for dinners and stuff. You don't really know that you miss a home cooked meal in a nice home until you go in one. You're just so used to apartments and dorms and things. And I was like, you know what?
And being that she's an international student, technically, that must just be, it really is pretty much dorm life. It's not the option of, hey, let me go home for the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, a home cooked meal, being in a nice house, just being comfortable for a couple hours that. So Bob told me I was creepy, but so I called Awa up and I was...
Do you think I'm a creep?
I said, look, I'm going to bring this up. My husband said it was creepy. Yeah. If you think it's creepy, just disregard it. I'm not trying to be creepy. And she's like, what's up, Jen? And I was like, well, I'd really like to invite you and the team over to our house for dinner after the season's over, because I just want, like, we've fallen in love with the team and your season, and we want to congratulate y'all. We want to celebrate your season.
And they had an amazing season
They
this year.
did. And she was like, that's not creepy at all. She's like, yes, we'd love to. We'd love to do it. And so that was before the season ended. And so, like, after the season, like, it was like, oh, this total letdown loss that they had. They left it all on the court. It was so inspiring. And so a few days later, we were texting, and I was like, I'd still love to host y'all if you're up for it. And she was like, yeah. So we got on the phone, like, we set a date. She's like, okay, that's it. We'll do it. And I was like, oh, really? Like, and as excited as I was, like, the first place that my mind went was, what if they don't come?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm going to be inviting super fans of theirs. Like, I have a lot of friends that were season ticket holders that, like, felt the same way. Like, these are people that when they walk in a room, they're not going to be like, who's that? Who's that? They're just going to be like, oh my God, there's Jalen Cherry. There's Kayla Pointer and Ryan Payne and Faustina Fua and all of these people, like, they've watched all year and cheered for. And so, like, my brain, as much as, like, I'm manifesting this happening, my brain was just like, what if they don't come? Yeah. And so, I don't know.
Was that moment of self-doubt?
It was. It wasn't a moment. Yeah. It was weeks.
Because I mean, I remember the first time when you talked about this, not even just inviting them over, but even just meeting Kim, wanting to meet Kim and, tell her that you're secretly best friends in your head.
Yeah.
And I remember when you told me it was the day after they had come, or a couple of days after they had come. And I was like, throughout this whole thing with this basketball team, you've manifested everything that you've said. Hey, I want to be able to meet her one day and just be able to tell her how much, I admire her, and just, you've done all of that.
Yeah. And it's amazing how it's come about, like, just putting it out there. But it's also amazing to me about, like, how my mind worked around it. And that's, like, really kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because, like, I've heard a lot, like, through radio shows and stuff. I think I've listened to this, these guys talk about, like, young people and how, like, it's hard to make plans with anybody anymore, because, like, they'll say yes, I'm going to come over for dinner on Friday night. On a Monday, they'll say that. Yeah. But, like, all it takes is a little bit better offer, and then they'll flake on you. And so I'm thinking these kids are, busy. They don't know any of us. Yeah. Like, Awa knows me for 5 minutes, and they're coming out to Prairieville, which is a good 30 minutes from LSU, out in the country. So, like, I'm just thinking, like, is something going to come up? Like, so, like, the week or two, I mean, it wasn't that long from when we set the date to when they were come, like, 2 weeks. And so I found myself, like, texting Awa, like, okay, I'm, like, ordering the food. Like, can you tell me, like, how many people are coming? And, like, I'm expecting her throughout the whole thing to be like, we can't make it. Yeah. Or, probably just 2 or 3. Like, I would have been a letdown. Yeah. But no, like, the whole time she, like, even the day of, I spent all day setting up. We had this big spread for them, like, decorations everywhere. And I sent her, like, a sneak peek of it, because, like, I wanted her to see the work we had put in, but I wanted her to know, like, please don't, like, it was kind of in my mind, like, please don't flake out on me. Yeah. Like, I've bought this big cake. I have put in all this work. And so I wonder, like, why. And honestly, until they texted me and said, like, we're on our way, we're stuck in traffic, like, we'll be there in a few minutes. Like, I don't know why my mind just wouldn't accept that they're coming. And I just remember one text that she sent me, and I was from France, and so she doesn't, English is her second language. She had to come to junior college here in the United States to learn English before she came to LSU.
Yeah.
And so sometimes she doesn't have the right words for things.
Yeah.
She's like, how do I say this? You know? But she sent me this text and it was like, I got you.
Yeah. Aw.
And
that's reassuring.
Like that just really like hit differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes I think we just say, yeah, I'll take care of that. I'll do that for you. Yeah, we'll be there or whatever. But like when she said, I got you, like, I don't know. It was like this massive reassurance to me. Just those words. And I don't know. I just kind of wanted to talk to you.
Powerful. I had, last month I had my first big event, really, the Best You at the Faubourg in New Orleans. And I feel like my experience would have been similar to yours, where it's this big company now. The brewery is owned by the Benson family. So they're the ones who own the Pelicans and the Saints. And just the marketing director, Jason, the entire time, he said, hey, you know what? We're just here to back you. We want to make whatever idea you have, we want to make it a reality. We just want to back you and support you. And for some reason, not that I didn't believe it, but I didn't believe that it was really going to happen to me. It's so big. Like, I think sometimes we manifest things, or we have dreams, or we have something we want to achieve that can be big, but we never actually believe that it could happen to us.
100%.
And when it's happening to you, it's like, when is it going to go wrong? Because this really can't happen to me.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so I remember at one point we were just, we're getting vendors together, and there's one step coach trainer here, Coach Cassie. And I was looking at different vendors. Obviously, I'm not from Baton Rouge. I'm not a native. So in terms of getting to know lots of other local businesses, one, I learned the importance of that, being connected to your community. But she also said something similar when we were trying to see vendors that could fit well with the event. And she said the exact same thing. I got you. And it makes you relax. Like, you feel okay. You calm down.
Yeah, you kind of feel like they get it. Like, stop stressing. Like, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the it almost was like, I understand the importance of this to you, and I'm not going to let it fall apart. Yeah. And it came out in, I got you.
Yeah. And it's almost like I got you's bit better than I promised.
It is. It's
personal.
It is. And so, I don't know. I just thought, like, this would be good to talk to everybody about, just for manifesting, like, put things out there. Like, there's a lot of Airbnbs in Baton Rouge. She could have done, picked anybody.
And now we're opposite. She could have picked me.
I know, she could have. You wouldn't know who she was.
Nope. Well, but look at that. Look at the way the world works.
Yeah, and I would encourage you, like, to look at people around you and kind of try to realize, like, if they're doing something big, or if you can be a part of helping someone achieve something big. If you see the stress, if you see the fear of, like, it's going to fall apart, if you can have anything to do with
their success.
Like, I love the words, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm not going to let it.
You, friends.
Yeah.
We got you with this motivation.
Oh my gosh. You're
that
so
was
dorky.
great. I feel great after this. What a great topic, Jen.
Awesome. Well, we got you guys.
Oh, one thing. So, guys, we always tell you we'd love to hear from you. ISWC podcast. Now, we've got a new feature. We've got a blog feature. So we would love for you guys to submit any sort of stories of courage that you'd like to share with us, and that we can publish on the blog page. Now, it doesn't have to be anything specific, but just any moment of courage or everyday coverage, as we always say. We would love, love, love to hear from you guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.